Is it even possible to not be swayed by Ryan Gosling's charm? Alright guys, I've been looking forward to this movie for a while, so let's dive into this. This movie is called The Fall Guy. It is directed by David Leitch. I think that's how you say his name. It stars Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Hannah Waddingham, who, by the way, she was in Ted Lasso. You'll probably recognize her. This movie also has, let's see, Aaron Taylor Johnson from Kick-Ass and Winston Duke from Black Panther. He's in this movie as well. This movie has a lot of talented people. So with that in mind, is it everything I thought it was going to be? Let's dig in. David Leitch, or David Leitch, the director of this movie, considered this movie to be a love letter to the stunt community. And that got me thinking, because that is a very interesting thing to point out. He points it out throughout the movie several times. Stuntmen or stunt women, stunt people, they don't tend to get a lot of attention from the media. They don't tend to get attention from the audience. They definitely don't get attention from the awards. And that is something that is kind of profound when you think about it, because they go through a lot. A lot of people end up getting seriously injured. Sometimes people die doing this profession, and yet we take it all for granted. We naturally just look at the main star. We look at Robert Downey Jr. jumping around, but we don't realize that's probably not Robert Downey Jr. some of the times. There's someone else there who's actually getting hurt, who's actually falling. And, that's just to throw out an example. I don't know, maybe Robert Downey does his own stunts. I kind of doubt it, but, even an actor like Tom Cruise sometimes does use a stunt double, and yet you barely hear about these people. So that is something that I think this movie is kind of good at pointing out. It's very interesting, and it's something I think that we should all be thinking about. Let's start giving more love to the stunt people, because they are seriously getting overlooked. So in this movie, Ryan Gosling is playing a stuntman. He is a stuntman to Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is a very pretentious asshole of an actor. He's playing such an over-the-top character that you can tell he is just having fun with this character. I'm talking about Aaron Taylor Johnson. But anyways, Ryan Gosling is his stuntman, and he gets pulled into a mystery because suddenly during the filming of this movie, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character disappears. It's at this point that Hannah Waddingham, the producer on the movie, approaches Ryan Gosling and says, "Hey, can you please help me find this missing actor? Nobody's going to care if you go missing," which is kind of offensive, but she's good at playing those kind of characters. Anyway, please help us find this actor. And Ryan Gosling takes it up and he decides he's going to do it, but he's not doing it so much to find this actor. He's doing it to get close to Emily Blunt, who is someone that you find out from the very beginning of this movie he has deep romantic feelings for. Ryan Gosling is so naturally charismatic. He is so charming. He can play a tough guy or he can play a heartthrob. People remember him probably from The Notebook, but I think of him as like Blade Runner 2049 and, Drive, things like that. But he is such a charming guy, so that is part of the reason I was so looking forward to this movie, just because I know he's going to do something that entertains me. And Emily Blunt, I'm a big fan of this woman as well. She is talented. She is gorgeous. She has a beautiful, sexy accent, and I'm not even straight, and I find her to be just very gorgeous. These two have a great dynamic. I really love their chemistry. They are what holds this movie together. They are the glue behind this movie. This movie is funny at times. It has good action at times. But one thing that never wears out is their chemistry, their bond, and just getting to see more of them. Now, I just said this movie is funny, and that is true. It is mostly pretty funny. I have seen funnier movies, I'm not gonna lie. There were times where I was chuckling, but I wasn't laughing out loud. Not a ton, but it kept me entertained. The humor was there enough that it made me not get too cringed. There were a couple scenes that I thought might have been a little cheesy, maybe a little just unrealistic, but if you walk in and you remember that this is going to be a comedy, you know how it is with comedies. Some of the things that they do to set up the joke, they just don't necessarily seem realistic, but you do laugh. And I will say I had that. There were scenes where I was like, oh, that doesn't seem super realistic. If you're going in expecting like 40-Year-Old Virgin or Wedding Crashers or something, something like that, you're probably not going to be laughing that much. So I do think that this movie very much met its goals. The director wanted to make a love story that was funny, had good action, and was a love letter and a homage to the stunt community. And I think it definitely does that. This movie will get you thinking more about those people behind the scenes. And when you see the things, you do have to wonder, how much danger is it really worth to do some of these shots? Should we do more green screen, more CGI? I think that obviously people think that we use too much CGI lately, but sometimes some of the things that happen, it is super dangerous. There's actually a documentary that came out last year on HBO Max with Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter, and it's about his stuntman who got injured during filming of the movies, and this guy is permanently wheelchair bound. So these are the kinds of things that are happening to these people, and so it is good to see a movie pointing out and just letting you know, like, hey, there is someone that is actually doing that, and no, it's usually not the main actor that you absolutely love. It's the guy or gal that you've probably never heard of. So my final thoughts on this movie, I really enjoyed this movie. This movie has a great cast. It's very funny. It's not the funniest movie, as I said already, but it is quite funny. I loved Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's chemistry. I loved Winston Duke. By the way, he is awesome in this movie as well. Hannah Waddingham. There's just a lot of talented people in this movie. There's some pretty good action scenes in this movie as well. And the music in this movie actually really rocks. I liked it a lot. The soundtrack, the score, just the good choice by the director with that stuff. I don't know. Was he involved with the music choices? If he was, thumbs up. I love the music. So if you're in the mood to be smiled at by Ryan Gosling, and if you want to hear Emily Blunt's cute accent and just see her deliver some funny performances as well, then this is a good movie, and I think you are going to enjoy it. So I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's not the highest rating you can give, but this is a very solid movie. It kept me entertained. It made me laugh. And I was just very much enjoying watching this movie. So those are my thoughts. What did you think of it? Let me know. Put your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to hear more things from me, then you should be subscribing to this channel. And that's everything I have to say. Until the next time, folks. Later.